Inflation is at a record high in the United States, and it seems like everywhere you turn, it's being discussed, worried about, and blamed for economic shifts and fluctuating prices. But what exactly is inflation, and what does it mean for real estate? Inflation is the decrease in purchasing power of money, with increasing prices for goods and services. Basically, when inflation is up, you're getting less bang for your buck. Inflation by itself is a normal thing. Economists estimate that inflation rises by about 3.2% in the US each year, and real estate usually keeps up with this, as things like rent are included in the goods and services that tend to rise with inflation. As the value of property rises with inflation, the amount of money tenants pay in rent and buyers pay for homes can increase over time. Inflation is a major factor in real estate appreciation. While properties gain value over time, inflation can erode the real gain for the owner. For example, if a property is bought for $1 million and sold years later for $3 million, it has appreciated by $2 million. But due to inflation, the buying power of the dollar is less than it was when the building was bought, meaning that $3 million today might get you less than it would have years ago. So the real return becomes less than $2 million. How much less depends on how much inflation there has been. Inflation also means historic debt is comparatively lessened, as the value of debt already taken out is lessened. For example, say you have a 20-year, $100,000 mortgage at a 3% fixed interest rate, and inflation goes up by 3% each year. This means that in the following year, you're still only paying $495 a month, but the value of your money increases by 3% a year. So each time inflation hits, the relative cost of your debt goes down. However, inflation is not always good for property owners. As inflation goes up, banks tend to increase short-term interest rates as a way to put some downward pressure on it. In other words, inflation tends to mean higher mortgage rates. This can also result in the real estate market slowing because debt becomes more expensive to take on. Overall, residential and commercial real estate investors tend to fare better than those with stocks and bonds during times of rapid inflation. Because rents rise with inflation, building owners can typically increase income accordingly. Additionally, construction becomes more expensive during these times, so building may slow, creating less competition from new developments. However, if investors do not regularly increase the rent with inflation, or fail to account for periods of rapid higher than usual inflation, they are taking a loss that is compounded over time. Inflation can be intimidating, but some investors use real estate as a hedge against it by capitalizing on rising rents and property values. Have your investments helped you combat the squeeze of inflation? Let us know.